So inside this box I have the Onsra Black Curve, a direct drive electric skateboard. Is it better than the other ones that you have on the market, even if you don't have a lot of them? And what is the benefit of this one? Is it better, or is it even good enough to compete against like an Evolve? If you want to know everything, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack, and if you love EUCs, PVs and everything that have a need of electricity, this is the place for you. And finally I have here the Onsra. Let's open the box and see a little bit closer this one. And you may be asking what is the big benefits to have a direct drive. So first of all, you can use the tires that you want. The one that it should be in this box is with the 150 mils. It's a box inside the box. I like those tires because it's impossible to have a puncture tire, and besides that, come on, they are much more comfortable. Obviously they run out much faster than the street tires, but I feel much safer. Even if I go really fast in electric skateboards and electric unicycles, but majority electric unicycles, I personally like more to just swing around with electric skateboards. That's why I love double kingpin, and this one will come with that. It's in these moments that you know that you need a bigger office. And when you look, you can see here saying Onsra on the top, and let's open this part here. And here on the front is saying premium performance. So I'm curious to see. It's definitely small. Here is the skateboard, but ooh, I really like the size of it. But we'll come back to the skateboard in a second. Let's see what we have more. Inside the box you have the normal charger that I've seen in other skateboards, so a 2.5 amps. I think it's the same charger that it comes with the Raleigh Carbon AT. It could have come with other tires, it depends what you buy, but in this case it doesn't come with that. In my case it comes just with the skate tool and obviously the cable to connect. What we have here more, we have here USB-C. Amazing USB-C. So when we look to the remote, it's very simple remote. I have seen this remote before, but you have this rubberized feeling, and you have Onsra everywhere saying. I really like the sensation of it. It feels quite comfortable on the hand. I have already tested before, and it should have even the cruise control. I'm not sure if this one will do it or not, but we'll test it out. And by the way, they sent me these boards to review, so I didn't pay for it, but like you are already used to see on this channel, I'm going to tell you what I really think about these skateboards without a problem. Let's put all this aside and bring back the baby. Now that we have a little bit more space, let's see this baby a little bit closer. But I have to say that since I grabbed it, I really like the size of it. I think it's simply perfect. I had the skateboard with these dimensions before, it was the Max Fine, but for me the deck was too narrow, and when I look to this one I don't feel like that. So definitely cool, and I definitely have to say that this skateboard looks amazing. And here we have the tires. I love this type of tires for the UK, but like you can see, you have the motors here and not inside the tire. So if you compare this to a hub motor, is much more comfortable. So obviously having direct drive, you can swap the tires for whatever you want. In the same time, is going to be much more comfortable, because in opposite you have the motor in the middle and have just a very thin layer of rubber. You can have the tires that you desire. So definitely something that I like. I like the fact that they are double kingpin, and I want to definitely see if it's really a curving unit that you have here. You have all this bottom part in carbon fiber, and it feels premium. I have to say to you guys that it feels really premium. When we talk about the deck, and if you compare to old videos that you see about this one, now you have these pads on the top. They are much thicker than the previous generation, and that I think is like 4 millimeters thick. And what it's going to give you is going to give you much more comfort on your feet. I have already tried this type of grip tape before, and I really like it, because like I said, the roads here in the UK, they are terrible, and I tried street tires with this grip tape, and it's simply amazing. In the middle you are going to find the branding here, and I really like they are cut, and this is like a thin layer in black that you have on top, and on beneath you have the original color of the wood of your deck. It's slightly concave, so it's going to basically give you a lot of grip when you are trying to curve, and that is something that I really like, because it's much easier to curve. But I'm really curious to see the performance of these trucks when you are trying to curve. I really like how it's built in. I don't think that it is going to disconnect, and that was a problem that I had, for example, with the Max Fine, that I had to do some changes on it. So I don't see that happening in here. When we look here to the back, you have in one side you have the turn on and turn off. I really like the position of it because it is more difficult that the water will go inside, and you have the port to charge on the side. And one of the things that I like is in this way is more difficult to open during the time that you are riding. So definitely a plus, because if it's raining or if the floor is wet, having water here on the plug is not a good sign. All the bottom is in this carbon fiber that I like. You have this part where it's going to be your ESC in metal, so obviously to cool down a little bit more. When we look to the clearance here, you have a lot of space, so I will say around 8 centimeters from the floor. When we talk about the direct drives here on the back, you have around 2 centimeters from the floor or 1.5 centimeters from the floor. Obviously you can damage them, but just to point it out, you have some sleeves that you can take it out from your motors and put new ones, so if they are getting damaged, you can do it. Another thing that I like to test it out is when you are just trying to curve. Majority of cheap electric skateboards coming from China, they have a lot of sound, and you don't have with this one, so definitely a pro that you have. But let's see how is the performance when you try to connect to the remote. So now that I have the board turned on, I'm going just to show to you how fast it is to connect to the remote. And we know that this has been a problem in other electric skateboards like the first generation's Evolves. So let's just try. So 1, 2, 3, I pressed, connects, and it's connected. So you can see that is really fast. When we look to the remote, obviously you are going to see the battery on your skateboard, the battery on your remote. You are going to see how many kilometers you have done on your electric skateboard, and you have 3 speeds. A thing that I've never been really a fan on these Hobby Wings settings is you just press one time and it changes from one speed to the other. Obviously, if you are constantly changing, that is an advantage, but if you press for mistake, I'm not a big fan of it, okay? So just to point it out, is a small con. I have already tried this type of remote before, and I never had really an issue with it because your fingers are a bit away from it, but it can happen that you press it. The screen I have already tried before is really bright even when you are outside. Like I said, I had this remote before with other skateboards. Something that I would like to have seen on this remote, having a trigger to just turn on and turn off, because it happens before that I just press to accelerate and the skateboard accelerates when I don't want. So I would like to have like a trigger that when you get the remote on your hand, you have to press it before you accelerate. Like you had, for example, on the Slick Revolution Flex E that I had, but those brakes, they was simply rubbish. I'm not expecting they are bad on this one because it's Hobby Wings and is my favorite brakes on the market. Okay. So you can see the is really responsive. I really like this. I don't need to do almost anything and he accelerates, so you can see like very responsive. So when we talk about the first mode, you're going to have here obviously a free spin of 23 kilometers per hour. When you go to the modes 2, you have a free spin of 37 kilometers per hour. And when you reach the mode 3, you have a free spin of 47. And I have to say that besides to be super responsive, it feels really strong, and definitely is the strongest one that I felt in this room in my hands. So outside of the box, what I have to think about this one, I have to say to you guys that it really feels premium. It is the motor, the strongest motor that I felt on this room for sure. The reaction and the braking on this one, it seems incredible. I'm really curious to see what is the range that I can take out of this one, because it always been a big problem for me to ride more often electric skateboards, because I do a lot of miles with my electric unicycle. So I'm curious to see how much battery or how much range I can take out of this one. But I love the grip type, I love the size of it. There are some persons that were saying it was slightly too small, but I don't think so. And I think the speed that you can get out of this one is more and more than enough. So I'm really curious. If you have any questions or if you want me to cover something in specific about this one, leave in the comments below. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face. And I hope to see you in the next one.